All right, we are live. I'm here with Mista. May I call you Mista? Concrete
Yeah.
Cowboy.
Yeah.
Grateful to have you here, man. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me on.
Of course, yeah. No, I when I was thinking of people that I wanted to have on the live, you were at the top of the list for guests. So definitely glad that you accepted the invite, and we are here. Anybody who's here in chat, let us know how audio is and technical stuff. I know that I have sunlight on my face; it'll go away in like 15 minutes. But let me know how audio is on both of our ends. Yeah, let's see here. Who do we have? We have Resolute123. Holy crap! I didn't know you were friends with Concrete Cowboy. Love his content. Aw.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, actually, I when again, I forgot when it was when I had like 7,000 subscribers. I was just kind of reaching out to get advice from people, and Nightwood Guns was the only person that really put time aside to talk to me. So I was super grateful for that back then, and then now I've come all the way over here, and it's just really cool to be in here.
Yeah, it was pretty clear to me right off the bat. Even was it your first video that was it was about EDC, right? It was like the top 5 things that you need to consider for EDC. Is that what it was? It was something like that.
Yeah, yeah, and that video caught me off guard because I posted that, and I went on a camping trip, so I had no cell reception, and then when I came back from the camping trip, I had so many, like, notifications. I was like, "What is going on?" And that, like, it was like a first or second video, it just went viral, and it just took off from there.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's the thing is not just for a first video, but for any video, it was really well done. Like it was well thought out. Your pacing was good. Your camera presence was great. Very confident. So when I saw that that was your first video, I knew that you were going to grow pretty quick, which you are growing very quickly, which makes me so happy. So congratulations on all the success. You are actually going to be on a panel at GunCon.
Yes, yeah, and I will not be wearing a mask. I'm gonna show my face. I know everyone keeps asking about the mask thing. It's not for, like, people like you and I or, like, people in the gun space. It's actually because, my wife and my mom have jobs that are a little bit more sensitive to gun stuff, so I don't personally post my face, but if you look on, like, IG and other places, you can find my face if you're actually paying attention. I just people haven't figured it out yet, but, yeah, I don't really cover my face in public.
Well, that's good. So, what's the topic of the panel? You know what you're going to be talking about yet?
No idea. I think it's just I think there's gonna be like a mediator and he's gonna ask questions and then we answer it and then we're gonna talk to the people that are present that are there live.
That's awesome. So yeah, if you want to meet the Concrete Cowboy and see the in-person face reveal, be sure to go to GunCon. I'm also going to be at GunCon. I'm going to be there with Bull Armory. So I'm going to be at the Bull
Oh,
Armory
nice.
booth for probably like 90% of the show because we have an announcement at the Bull Armory booth, something that I've been cooking up with Bull Armory, and it is going to be the worldwide announcement at GunCon. So uh, if you can make it, definitely be there. You don't want to miss it. And if you can't make it, then be sure to keep your eyes peeled because I will be posting a video on the announcement right around the time of GunCon. So GunCon is going to be the best GunCon ever. It's really come into its own. So if you've ever considered going to a gun convention before, this is the one to hit, and this is the year to hit it. So that's
Yeah, it's gonna be my first time going.
yeah, same. I'm actually really pumped. I've heard only good things, and this year they have so many big things planned, like VIP tickets for the range day and stuff. Just going to be an awesome experience.
Mhm.
All right, so let's see who else is here. We got God Guns and Guitars is ready. Oh shit, my dude Bert be dropping. Kenji, what's up, man? Glad you're able to make it. We've officially been dubbed a goated live.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
yep, everyone's saying the audio sounds good. Hi, Brett. Saw a 2026 TAC Pro 5-inch at the LGS yesterday. Was so tempted to get it instead of waiting for the TAC Comp or the new one you teased this week. Is the TAC Comp that much better than the Pro? I think it's worth waiting to see if you can get one. I will say this, just knowing what I know, it's looking like the TAC Comp is actually going to be happening pretty soon in the US. So if I were you, I would wait, see if you can get your hands on the TAC Comp. If not, the TAC Pro is right up there. It's really good. Convince Concrete Cowboy to get some car stuff on the channel.
Oh yeah. So I think he's referring to like so if you follow me on IG, I actually have a cinematography background and I started with cars. And so I've been kind of posting random car content just randomly when I find it on my phone. And a lot of people are telling me they want like a car page now. So maybe I'll start posting my car stuff that I've done in the past for past clients just to, share it.
Yeah, no, that'd be. I mean that's the thing is when your stuff looks so good, your gun stuff looks so good. I can only imagine how good your car stuff would be. So, but also be careful not to spread yourself too thin because
Yeah,
you've got really good momentum going with the gun stuff. Just some car
sure.
teases every once in a while, like I do with like nerd stuff.
Yeah.
We got Legend saying, "What's up? Everything
What's
sounds
going
great.
on?
Thoughts on the new Wilson Glock 19? I think it looks so ugly. Have you seen the Wilson Bulwark?
I have not. No.
Yeah, it looks interesting. It kind of looks like the Keltec, what is it, P15. It's got like this tiny little grip safety on it. It looks like a full-size Keltec P15. Takes Glock mags. It has like a 1911 style trigger with like a safety tab in it.
Mhm.
I don't think it looks talking to someone else, they described it as looking half baked, and I think I would agree with that. But check it out after the live so you can see.
I'm going to
But
look that up.
yeah, it makes me concerned about Wilson. Love both your channels, guys. Keep up the good work. Also, got that Black Lagoon recommendation here too. Yeah, if you've never watched anime and you're a gun guy and you want to give it a shot, Black Lagoon is the anime to start with. Get to episode 5 and then you'll be hooked. Hey, Sonny Boy, your mom says hello and says to say Uncle Plotinus will be out of the gulag soon and hopes to see you on your 18th birthday. This long watcher of the channel who just loves. Oh wow, here you go. Looks like I show speed.
I could be him. I don't have the hair, and I'm not that fast, so no.
You haven't flexed enough.
No, well, okay, I'm bigger than him, but I don't have that speed. He is so fast.
He's pretty
I wish
speedy.
I could run that fast.
The Bull check cleared. Nope, no checks from Bull. Just a cool opportunity. Like it's one of those things where I think we can make this happen. Just purely for the love of the game. Bull Armory metal grip probably.
That would be cool.
We will see.
That would be cool.
Oh, Varia, what's up, dude? This is the most unexpected collab ever. I think it'd be more unexpected if iShowSpeed was here.
Yeah, he just jumps in randomly.
Yeah, damn YouTube notification. I just got it now. Hey, I'm glad it came through at least. Has there been a price set on the TAC comp? Yeah, I think it's just under 3. Pretty sure.
I need to get a Bull. Those things are awesome.
Oh yeah.
I have a buddy, his cousin has the Blaze, and I'm gonna be shooting that pretty soon. Super excited.
Oh yeah, the Blaze shreds. It's my favorite like limited optics gun for sure. And the value, yeah, and you'll see it when you shoot it, it feels more expensive than it is. Not that it's a cheap gun, but it competes with the way more expensive 2011s. It's amazing that they can build that and sell it for what they do. We have what else here? Need a Radian ramjet for the M&Ps.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
They made a post about the they made something, I think it was for the 43X or something a couple weeks ago. And I made a comment about like, when are we getting one for the M&P? And a ton of people liked it. And they responded to every other comment except for mine. And I was like, they're avoiding it. They know people want it. They know it.
Also, I just want to address this right now because I don't like ban and block people. You drop an EDC no rotation gun by Bull Armory video, and now you are announcing a partnership with Bull Armory. I had high hopes for you, Nightwood, but you were just like all the rest. What a disappointment. And then followed up by you are a fraud. Or I've been carrying that Bull Armory for a couple of years. I have 10,000 rounds through it. It did end my carry rotation. And I had an opportunity to work with the manufacturer that made my favorite thing. And I am getting literally no kickbacks and no financial gain from it. It's just a really awesome opportunity to make a really good thing happen that I think a lot of people, including myself, are going to like. View it as a consulting opportunity. They came to me and said, what would you like to see? And then that's what I said that I'd like to see. And that's it. So no, it is not a fraud. If any company would have come to me and said, we want your input on something, will you help us do this and collaborate? I would have worked with anybody to improve their product, period. So just wanted to address that because it's the truth.
Hmm.
As far as the Radian Ramjet for the M&P, this is something I have been screaming from the mountaintops for a long time because you're a huge fan of the M&P, right?
Got 5.
Yep. And so we actually just found out right before before we went live, that we're both doing our M&P HD videos this weekend. So
Hmm.
can you give us a little preview of what you thought of the steel frame?
I think it's great. I think if you're in the ecosystem, it's a no-brainer. Um, if you're a 2011 guy, it's gonna be hard to convince you to switch to this just because it shoots like a striker fire, but it's like a very nice shooting experience. For like the nicest striker fire experience you can probably get. But yeah, it's a good gun for sure. I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it. It's all my notes are away right now, so
Yeah, we don't want to spoil the review either. Just a little preview of your thoughts.
yeah, I mean, if we want to talk about, being a fraud and stuff, I'm completely an M&P show. They don't pay me or anything, but I love M&Ps. I even say it in my review that I'm probably the most biased person when it comes to reviewing this gun. But I think that's why it's so important that I review it, because I have years and just many, many hours behind that platform. So I think I can really, you know, express my experiences a little bit better than some people that just kind of hop around.
Yeah. No, I'm particularly excited to watch your review just because I know how much you like M&Ps. To me, like that makes your opinion on this really valuable to me. So
Mhm.
I'm definitely excited because I have my thoughts. But your thoughts, you're one of the people that I definitely want to see touch on it because I think that we're probably going to align on a few things. But since I don't primarily shoot M&Ps, I don't really have that perspective of like, okay, I have these 5 M&Ps, I have 10,000 rounds through each one. How does it compare? So instead, I'm like, how does this thing compare to 2011s or the one M&P that I do run a lot that's a compact 4 inch? So
Mhm. Yeah, I think in total I'm just over 30,000 rounds through the M&P platform. Like, and that's a course of like 3 or 4 years. And then this gun specifically, it's just over 3,000. So it's gonna be a good one.
super sweet. We have a super chat. Appreciate the $10 super chat. Not a live stream unless I update on recent acquisitions. Smith & Wesson FBI 1076. Congrats. That's a huge pickup. A nickel P7M8. That's an even bigger pickup. Wow. M9 92FS Brig turning into a Samurai Edge, my man. Nickel Colt 1908 Vest Pocket, Python 3-inch VP9 CC, and Shield X Comp. Dude,
Does he have a
when,
shop or something, or
when's the party? When's the shooting party?
are these just like personal
That's
acquisitions?
just what he's getting. He's just
Oh
building up
wow.
the world's dopest collection. All right. Now we'll get to some more of the on. I'm gonna just take a look at the comments here really quick. Um, Varia coming in. Can't call him a fraud. He's been making sure we get Buffalo Creek at an affordable price. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Is I had an option to either get a kickback from Buffalo Creek or to pass the savings along to you guys. That's what I always do. I like very rarely do affiliate kickbacks unless the company's like, no, we insist. And it's something that I really truly believe in and would recommend regardless. I have to keep the channel going. I would be doing a lot better on the channel if I just took everything that came my way. I'm very, very picky. I make way less money because of it, but I always put you guys first because when I was watching GunTube content, I didn't like when other people weren't putting their viewers first because I don't view it as my channel. I view it as our channel. I view it as your channel. I'm here sharing my experiences, trying to help other people out. And that is why I have Concrete Cowboy here because I think that your values are pretty close to that, right?
Yeah, I tell people that, it is like I'm the face of the channel, but I would never be doing any of this stuff if it wasn't for you guys. Like, you guys are the reason why I'm able to collaborate with these companies and stuff like that. So, your trust is very important to me. But like you were saying, this is a whole nother topic. We won't dive into it, but like you do have to find ways to keep the channel running. And that's where you have to like really start looking at like your morals and like what you really want to get out of this journey, because I've actually had to turn down, not going to get into details, a significant amount of money because I didn't agree with how said company was doing something. But it would have been, I mean, it would have been really good money. Like, I probably could have gone full time if I went that route. But you just have to just do right by the people that trust you with your opinions and stuff. And you can't make everybody happy. Some people, like you saw earlier, they will get upset over certain things, and that's okay. I mean, we're not perfect, but try to do your best to just stay in line with the message that you put out there for other people to see.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think that's one of the reasons that we vibe, is because we're just, we hold very similar values like that. Also just want to stroke your ego a little bit here, show you some love. Yo, I was just watching Concrete Cowboy this morning. What an awesome collab. We got another awesome
Appreciate it.
collab. What's up, y'all? We got Concrete
Thank
Cowboy,
you.
the GOAT. I've been following Cowboy's content for a bit. He's been incredibly helpful in my personal progression in shooting, as well as his networking and finding people like yourself. Loved the IWI Jericho vid. So there you go. Just know that
Thank you so much. That means a lot.
I know, sitting in the same seat that you are, that sometimes you feel like, you're not doing good enough, or you could be doing better, or it's like, oh, I wish I had more followers, or what could I do? This video didn't do well. Know that you are doing so great. Your momentum is awesome, and keep up the great work.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's really weird because I'm a normal guy. Like I literally work a normal job. I mean, I just went to the doctor earlier today. I have to run errands. So I don't really get to see it from other people's point of view. So I really appreciate it, guys. That means a lot.
And then we have Monsoon Tactical in the house. What's going on, Nightwood? You would be really happy to know that I was playing GoldenEye right before I hopped on. So I've got my Sony Trinitron set up just like you do. Bring it to get like 4 guys and bring your CRT to GunCon, and we'll play GoldenEye. All right, so now that we've gotten through a lot of those comments, let's see, we got, would the partnership between you and Bull Armory be kind of like PewView and his collab to make a gun? Or is it going to be them building it and then you personally test it to fine tune it? I'm just going to tell you to be patient and see. I don't want to say too much. Just know that I'm assuming PewView got a kickback from that. And my situation is nothing like that. So, and that was a specific request of mine just for moral reasons. That's not what I'm here for. I'm not here to basically, like, I don't know. I feel kind of icky selling you guys something, if that makes sense. So I didn't want to do that. I wanted to find a way to make it work that would be something that would benefit everybody, and just make it as accessible to as many people as possible. And then we have Harry's Holsters here. Hadn't heard of Concrete Cowboy till tonight. Went and checked out the channel, and growth looks solid. Look forward to checking out some of the vids. You're in for a treat, man, because dude, your channel, the whole thing, like, you can't click on a bad video. You make just
I don't know about that.
all the way through.
YouTube disagrees. I had a little bout with YouTube the last 2 months, but we're in good standing now.
That's good. Yeah. And I think I warned you, because like when we first had our conversation, you're like, I haven't had any problems. And I'm like, wait till you have a few more subscribers and you're on their radar.
Dude, I tell this to all my friends. I think it's hilarious. I'm like, you said at 50,000 subscribers is when you started seeing problems.
Yeah.
December 31st at like 11:30. I know the times because it was just mind blowing. At 11:30, I hit 50,000 subscribers. I wake up the next day, I got my first warning, and then a week later, I got a strike. And I was like, dude, are you serious? Nothing has changed. But as soon as I hit 50, YouTube was like honing in on me. It was crazy.
Totally. Yeah. All right. So now I want to ask you some questions, get your takes on some stuff. Your most recent video that you did that I loved was carry as big of a gun as you can, is something like that, right?
Yeah.
And here's what I want to talk about, because I did a video a couple years ago where I shot side by side a Staccato XC with a red dot right next to a standard bone stock P365 with iron sights. And it was way closer than I was expecting. I just to keep it simple, shot an FBI qualification with both, and it was way closer than I was anticipating. Now, I just wanted to get your thoughts on how does skill level affect that? So kind of like novice, intermediate, advanced. And if you think each one of that still applies to each one of those categories.
Yeah. So I think one thing I do have to, remind people is, even though I'm getting further in my shooting journey, I like making content that I wish I would have had when I started. So a lot of my stuff is more beginner focused, and then I dabble in more advanced stuff, kind of like here and there. But yeah, the methodology or the mindset for that video was carry as big of a gun as you can because it's going to give you the most advantage. And my mindset was when you're in a stressful situation, because like when we're doing qualifiers and doing certain types of drills at the range, like we're in a controlled environment, and like you and I, we're sitting there, we're like, okay, I dry fired this or I learned this last week. But when something happens in real life, that cold start is all you get. You get that cold start. And I think bigger guns give you that advantage. You don't have to work as hard. Can you shoot as well? Absolutely. But when it's raining, you can only see half of, I don't want to say that. I don't want to make up specific scenarios, but like when situation is not ideal, I think having the bigger guns is going to be nicer because you're not using as much bandwidth using those bigger guns than a smaller gun. But absolutely, you can shoot just as well with the smaller guns. I just think you have to work a little harder.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. The way I view it is like a real life situation is so unpredictable. There are so many variables that you could basically look at what most commonly happen. Like, for example, active self protection. If you watch that channel, you can get an idea of what most attacks look like, but you can also
Yep.
get an idea of how unpredictable they are and how it's like, wow, I never would have thought of, a bullet ricocheting off of a wall and then hitting someone in the head and taking them out of the fight. You're like, okay, so maybe don't stand next to a steel beam. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of, there are so many variables. And like for me, the only thing that you can really do on the range is add pressure via time and like smaller targets in order to just really see what you're capable of with a pistol. And like when I shot the FBI qual with the Staccato XC and the P365, and they were really, really close to each other, when you try the tier 1 concealed 3.7s drill, or you try like a fast drill, something that requires a little more precision, a little more speed, maybe a reload, that a demanding drill like that really exposes the difference between something like a pocket gun and a comped full size pistol. And
Mhm.
that's where I agree, is it makes shooting easier, and so why wouldn't you want it, right?
Yeah. And there was one guy, he, made a comment. He was like, I can't carry a full size M&P. And I was like, well, that's okay. I'm just saying carry the biggest gun you can. So if you can only carry a P365, then it is what it is. Some people can conceal more than others, but I think having the biggest gun available that you can confidently conceal is going to give you that advantage because, like you said, active self protection, a lot of this stuff is happening within 7 yards.
Yeah.
But we're not really just preparing for that because, like, what if you're that one in a million and you're in the mall and it was like, was it Eli Dickens? Is that his
Yep.
name?
Eli Dickin, yeah.
40-yard shot. It's like you never know. I
Which,
watch a
like,
lot
again,
of
like you can do with the P365.
yeah.
It's just like, here's where I'm at. The dude in that mall with Eli Dickin did not train, was not a gun guy. The vast majority of those people are not, right? So if you have good marksmanship ability and you're paying attention to your surroundings, you have an advantage, and distance is your friend. And it doesn't matter what you have, you're going to do pretty well. For example, Jack Wilson, the church, he domed that shooter from like across the room with a 357 SIG. I think it was a 229,
Mhm.
double action first shot. So he ripped a double action first shot into the head at significant yardage. So again, it didn't matter what gun he would have had, and that's the important. The important thing is having a gun. Everything other than that, you're preparing for lightning strike scenarios. My philosophy is, if you're prepared for the lightning strike scenario, you're also prepared for the common scenario. But if you're prepared for the common scenario, you may not be best equipped for the lightning strike, if that makes sense.
Mhm. Yeah, I always say like my favorite saying that I don't know if I've made this up, but I like to think I coined it. I want to be overqualified on the worst day of my life. So like what
Yeah.
we're doing on the range, like again, like active self protection, they're not shooting at that high of a level. They're just defending themselves. But if you train at such a high level that when something happens, you can pop a double action shot from across the room. And to him, that probably feel like an easy shot because he's just getting lined up. To us, that feels slow motion, but
Yeah.
I want to keep it that way. I want to make sure I'm pushing myself so far that if something were to happen, I would feel overqualified. Will I be? I have no idea. no
Yeah.
idea, but I like to think so, by training and constantly doing matches and, USPSA, PCSLT gun, all that stuff really helps.
Oh yeah, and the thing is that, and the reminder here is that it helps with the marksmanship end of things. There are so many other variables that go into encounters like that, but marksmanship is an extremely important skill to have in that situation. So training that skill up without neglecting the others, but training up the marksmanship skill. I mean, that's the thing is I think everyone kind of views their self-defense situation, which by the way is about an average of a 1% chance in your lifetime for Americans in general. Obviously you live in a bad area that chance goes up, just kind of nationwide. So a 1% chance in your life that you'll need to use a firearm to defend yourself. And the likelihood is you won't even have to discharge a round, but it's everything. Like it's your life. So I say, why not carry the gun that you shoot the best, right? And then that's the thing is something else you discuss in your video is the proper gear, a good holster, wearing the right shirt. That's all a part of your EDC kit. Because some people are like, I can't carry a big gun. They're stuck in this mindset of small gun, carry gun, big gun, duty gun. And it's not necessarily that way. Like people carry Glock 19s for a lot of years. You don't need to go down to something like a P365 pocket pistol. So
Yeah.
You also like tier 1 concealed, right?
I have a closet right across from me that has about 6 other holsters.
Yeah.
It's all of them. And I still have block holsters. I don't even know why.
What do you like about the tier 1 concealed holster?
They just conceal really well. I don't know. Like I obviously they did their research and they know what they're doing when they're molding this Kydex. But like whenever I use those holsters, my gun just disappears. And
Yeah.
I don't wear tight shirts, but I wear shirts that fit me well. And
Yeah.
yeah, they just disappear. And it doesn't matter what size gun I have. It's just
Yeah.
they do really, really well.
Here, this is going to be fine because this is not a firearm or firearm part, but I do have this right here. And you can see even on the mag carrier, like they build up those bumps. So the belt goes through that, hits the bumps, pulls the magazine.
Do the same thing here.
And like obviously the wing belt goes through, and this looks like branding, this T1, but the belt hits that and it pushes it up against your body too.
Oh, I did not even know that. I mean, I knew the T1 was here, but I didn't know. This is like my summer carry because I don't really carry a spare mag and like in the appendix anymore. I'll just keep it in a pocket if I want to. But yeah, this is like my go-to. I think this is the Zyphos Elite or something like that.
Yeah. The standalone holster.
Yeah, and I carry, this is another thing that's going to be in the review. I actually carried the steel frame for 4 weeks. 0 issues in this holster.
What belt are you running for a carry?
Core Essentials.
Yep, I wore a core belt for years.
I love them. I love them so much.
Oh, I still recommend them for sure. It is, and that's the thing is when you have a sturdy belt like that, you can carry a heavy gun no problem.
Dude, yeah.
And let's see.
Great.
This is a good question. And then I just got a super chat. I'll get to that in a second. What percentage of the time are y'all using shot timers and in what format? So when you're at the range and you're training, how often are you on a shot timer?
The entire time.
Yeah.
I use it the entire time. Yeah. I use it for dry fire and live range.
The only time I don't use a shot timer is when I'm grabbing dedicated footage for a video. Where I'm just like, setting up lining up the camera, like getting slow-mo and stuff like that, and just grabbing footage. Other than that, like there's no reason to not be on a timer. Unless
actually, so I used to be the same way. And then I used to get frustrated because I'm like, man, I'm coming out here and I'm not training, I'm filming. And I found a way to train and film. So like now I record me actually training as opposed to just setting the camera up for a shot. And so like, even if you watch my B-roll, if you listen, you can hear the shot timer as I start ripping. So I use it, 110% of the time.
Yeah. And I, like I said, there's really no reason not to, unless you're just having fun and plinking, like you got the gold Desert Eagle out and you're just having fun with it. But yeah, I don't think there's any reason to not be on a shot timer. You will get better on a shot timer. So the more you're on it, the better you will get. It holds you accountable. Yeah.
Something that I'd noticed, it's just like kind of funny. It created a training scar at matches because like they'll say like, "Shooter, are you ready?" And I'll get ready. And then usually after I get my hands where I want, my left hand will go down and hit the shot timer to like start the delay time. And so like I've been doing that at matches and I'm like, what am I doing? Like just reaching for my leg strap, trying to hit the shot timer.
Yeah. The weird thing for me is that speaking of training, like accidental training that made me a much better shot is when I'm grabbing slow-mo footage just to kind of show the recoil impulse. I will literally people don't realize this. They're like, oh, you're doing this with your thumb when you shoot. I'm like, dude, it's slow motion. And I'm literally ripping like 16 splits so that you can see the recoil impulse in slow motion. So you can see where it returns, where it fires, where it returns, where it fires. So I'm just absolutely shredding this thing, but it's slow-mo, so it doesn't look like it. But it made me a better shooter because I started just ripping, 17 rounds, and my groups kept getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And it almost taught me, I was so focused on like grabbing the footage perfectly that it like helped cement muscle memory to keep consistent pressure on my support hand all the way through. So just one day I started shooting significantly better when I was training. And then I realized, oh, me grabbing the slow-mo footage and just ripping full mags actually made like my doubles improved, like everything improved because I'd like permanently turn my hand into concrete getting footage.
Yeah. I will say starting a YouTube channel has definitely helped improve my shooting just because I have a huge library of stuff that I can like watch back. And I'm like, why did I like why do I do this? Or like, how do I fix this? And I can just go back and watch all my content and footage in my folders on my my hard drive and just watch myself train and then like use that as a reference for my next range day. It's really cool.
Oh, for sure. Like there are times where I'm watching a slow motion, I'm seeing the gun like oscillating and I'm like, I'm not paying enough attention to my support hand there. And then of course, everyone else also notices in the comments. That's the downside is you're showing everyone your flaws. You're showing like, tens of thousands of people your flaws as you're learning. And people are like, according to my calculations, you're actually terrible because you have sympathetic movement in your thumb when you shoot. And I'm like, well, I was at like 750 rounds that day. I was getting kind of fatigued. We have a super chat from Legend. The Fuse happens to be a good median, full-size capabilities while still having that slim design. Might have been an M&P, but still a crap shot. I was always awful at the 25, so that training helps. So have you shot the Fuse, the P365 Fuse?
Nope.
It's basically like a full-size P365. It's like a slim line, like full-size.
Like a 43X, but in like the SIG ecosystem?
Yeah, it's imagine like an X macro, but like a long barrel. Like it's just an overall, they try to make a full-size slimline gun, basically. It's like a duty slimline gun.
Okay.
But, the slimline, it makes concealment a little easier, but like the slimlines, they snap a little more than the bigger guns. So like looking at a 43X versus a Glock 19, G19 shoots noticeably better. You can put a Radian Ramjet afterburner on the 43X and it evens it out a little bit, but still it doesn't shoot as softly as a Glock 19. So have you played around with a lot of those slimline guns or no?
My first gun was a 365, and then I got a 365 XL, then I got a 43X. And then when I went to a 19, I just trashed all that from then on. I'm like compact or full size, never went back because I have pretty big hands. And connecting with a gun is very important to me. And I just can't do it with a slim. I mean, I can still shoot them, but not at a high level. I just can't get enough connection with my hands.
Yeah, there are little tricks to running those things well, and this, kind of full circle back to your video on carry as big of a gun as you can. There are tricks to making contact with the gun. They require not just more input physically, but input from up here of like, if you are in, that you're shot, you're injured, your gun needs to come out now and do business. I would rather just naturally not having to connect, my support hand with the surface area and the grip texture on the pistol without having to think about, okay, I need to, curl my fingers out here to create space on the side of the gun. I don't want to deal with that. I want to put my shots like this or as much like that as possible, as fast as possible. And a bigger gun takes that effort out. So that's why
it makes it a little bit easier.
I really liked that video that you did. Also, you shared your friend's experience at the end of that video who had kind of a close encounter, what could have escalated into a self-defense situation. And I encourage everyone here, if you have not watched his video on that, go watch it. It is very well done. I agree with absolutely everything in that video. But your friend's experience, it reminds me that you're fine with what you're carrying until you run into a situation that could have gone bad, that you would have felt better with something else. That's the reason I started carrying with a weapon light, is I had a sketchy encounter staring into headlights. And I'm like, if a muzzle flash came from behind that door right now, I would be shooting blind. It's one of those things. I think it's important to have a handheld light and, the option of a weapon light. But if I need to respond now, I'm not pulling my handheld light out on the draw. I'm shooting now, and having that on the gun, I'm able to, and a bright white light that can punch through something like headlights so I can see what I'm shooting at. That's what did it for me on the weapon light. I'm like, okay, after this one, dude, now I've seen a situation where a weapon light really would have come in handy. And I think it's the same thing with a full size gun too. As your friend basically ran across a situation where he would have felt way more comfortable with a full size gun, and that's what motivates you to put forth the effort.
Yeah, and I'm the same way with weapon lights. I think there's a great argument for both having them and not having them. But I think it really comes down to experience. And I'm not saying like, military experience, but I had a bump in the night once and I had a weapon light on my gun. And I felt so good that my hands didn't have to leave the gun while I was walking around the house. And like, I just couldn't imagine having to pull something out or like having to reach for a light switch. Having both hands at all times, I felt way more confident. And after that moment, I'm like, I'm always going to have them. And, people ask me all the time when I'm shooting hit factor and USPSA matches, you're like, why are you using weapon light? And I'm like, it's how I want to carry. And this is how I'm going to train. And the recoil impulse is different. I have shot, I think only this year, I've only shot 3 matches without a light. And I do like shooting without a light. But because it's how I carry, I want to train with, my setup, my everyday setup.
Yeah. And what is your everyday setup?
It is now it's the steel frame. And a lot of people were saying the steel frame is too heavy. And I'm not knocking anybody, and I don't want to come across as cocky or anything like that. But my second hobby is lifting, and I think I have enough back strength to support that gun and not have any issues. I've been carrying it for 4 weeks now, and I don't feel any back pain or anything like that. So yeah, it's been that. But before that, it was the 5-inch polymer M&P.
Yeah. And like my hobby is not lifting, and I carry, a 2011 with a spare magazine every single day. So
Yeah,
I mean, I'm a little more athletic than I look. But if you are just kind of like, if you just take care of your body takes care of you.
yeah, for sure.
Chinese
For
proverb.
sure.
Let's see here. We have Harry's Holsters here. My biggest problem with weapon lights is most of the people I see carrying them aren't carrying a handheld and haven't trained to know when they're justified to draw a gun. Maybe I just
always have my handheld with me at all times.
Womp womp.
Always.
But I think
Hands on.
maybe I just hang out with people who know what they're doing, but it's the opposite for me. Everyone I know who carries with a weapon light also carries a handheld light. It might just be the group of people, of imaginary friends that I hang out with. And we have Drawn with Lead here, very much in the weapon light camp. First of all, good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping by. Just picked up on comments here. Daddy Brett finally got my Boltac Pro, and it's so sexy. My XP Pro comp keeps up with it, just FYI. Yeah, absolutely kicks butt. And also, I just want to say big thank you to Legend for that $10 super chat, man. Thank you. Really spawned a really interesting conversation, so thanks. We also have, here's Legend again. Wouldn't you want the weapon light as added weight towards the muzzle? How do you feel about this?
When I first started shooting, I thought the same thing, but it does, even though it keeps the gun from rising while firing, it also pulls it down. Like I find that when I'm watching my gun in slow motion, I get more of like this wobbly effect. And when I'm having it without a weapon mounted light, it like returns exactly to where it was before. The weapon light kind of makes it do a little slight dip. So if you don't mind it, like I don't mind it, it's not that big of an issue for me, and I just train with it. But if you want to not have to worry about that learning curve, I would just shoot without it.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend other people do this. Definitely like do your own testing, but depending on the gun, depending on the weapon light, sometimes I'll go a pound lighter on the recoil spring just to even it out with the weapon light on there. But you do want to like seriously vet it for reliability if you're going to change anything like that. But that's just something I've tested. Like DPM Systems is a sponsor of the channel, so I'm always testing out their recoil reduction systems. Recoil spring assembly, instead of one spring, there are 3 springs in there that cushion the slide on the way back, and then ensure that it goes fully into battery without rocking the gun on the way forward. Just reduces the violent movement of the slide. I will go like a 1 spring lighter on that if I have the weapon light on the gun, just to keep that oscillation and that dip at the end of the gun from happening. And it also depends on
love their springs.
Oh yeah, DPM's great. It also depends on how hard you grip the gun too, though.
Yeah,
that can affect the dip too. Like if you're cranking down If you have a really firm grip on the gun and that weapon light is oscillating, if you loosen your grip, not that I'm saying you should, but if you do, you can watch that oscillation disappear. So that's why everyone's mileage may vary, because everyone has varying hand strength. So that's why I don't really recommend changing the recoil springs, but it's something that to play around with if you're bored. Let's see here. I thought I saw another comment here. First of all, Monsoon saying, come visit the shop when you come to GunCon. If I have time, I would love to. That sounds like a blast. Let's see here. U.S. Marine vet here. Hi, all. Howdy. Good to see you.
Thank you for your service.
Absolutely, man. So that's why my gun dips when shooting. Yep, it's all the weapon light. Got to take that off, Sonny boy. Agitech Defense. That's who I saw. Hey guys, late to the party. Any Glock talk or news? I finally got to shoot a Gen 6 17 last weekend. Loved it. I want a Gen 6 now. Have you played with the Gen 6s at all?
My buddy Barrel and Bolt, he's local to me in Georgia. He just got one 2 days ago, and I'm about to rip with that soon. So, funny enough, me getting the steel frame was a complete accident. I had sold a gun in hopes of getting the Gen 6 Glock 17, or this is a 47 or 7. It's a 17 now. And when I walked in, I picked up the Glock. I was messing with it. I turned around, and the M&P was in a case by itself, like behind this glass wall. And I was like, oh, and I put the Glock down and got the M&P with the money I just acquired like an hour earlier. So that was just chance that I got that when I did. But no, I have not shot it yet, but I'm excited to. It looks like a really fun gun.
I've been running it since I think December. And I'm going to do my review probably next weekend. The big thing is just the grip texture. It saves you from having to get it stippled or having to look for a grip tape solution. That's the best part. What I have found is the triggers. I mean, now granted, Glock triggers vary pretty wildly, and they always have, just because of tolerances and polymer. But for some reason, one of my Gen 6 Glock 19s has a really decent, smooth, crisp trigger for a Glock. And the other one, I had to get a Johnny Glock's trigger for it, because it was, oh man, I'm trying to remember. It was like it was just over 7 pounds, and it was the crunchiest, grossest trigger I've ever had. So, and unfortunately, that was the one that was on the Koa. So I'm like, well, of course. So I had to toss a different trigger in there because it was so bad. But other than that, like, I don't know if it's worth trading up to a Gen 6, but if you want one, or if you don't have one, the Gen 6 is the way to go just for the grip texture alone. They texture it all the way up the grip, and it's a really good texture. So definitely excited for you to run it, because I think you're gonna like it.
I wonder how the new mounting system is gonna hold up over time. Like, it looks better, but I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen mixed things on it. That's why I got the Koa too. I'm probably going to keep the Koa and move on from the other one, but we'll see. I'm running both just to see if the optic flies off of the standard one, but so far it's good.
Yeah, I haven't heard anyone have any issues with it.
Yeah, I think who had an issue with it? Was it Ben Steger? I don't remember. I feel like someone had an issue with it. Someone in chat will know. Jose, appreciate the $10 super chat, man. Just want to say hi to Cowboy and keep rocking that M&P, bro. M&P gang.
What's up, man? Yeah, M&P gang all the way.
Yep, mad respect for the M&P. Definitely one of the better platforms out there. We were talking before the live started about Smith & Wesson quality control, though. So I think that you've noticed what I've noticed, but what's been your experience recently?
2025 was not a good year for Smith & Wesson, and hopefully they're working on it. But yeah, I've seen a lot of crazy things coming from the factory from Smith & Wesson. And spoiler alert, that's the second steel frame M&P that I have. The first one, when I bought it brand new, it was never shot. It was brand new, from Smith & Wesson, had a giant crack in the back, and a piece of the frame was missing. And I was like, what? So I called them, and they were just like, yeah, just send that back. We're going to give you a different one. And that's what happened with me. But apparently it's been happening, not just with the M&Ps, but other firearms that they're producing. And I don't know what's going on. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. And like we were talking about before the live, I mentioned that like 2020 was the year that the revolvers quality control has been going downhill since the 80s with Smith & Wesson revolvers, but it was 2020 was like the spike down to rock bottom. And it seems like you said in 2025, now in 2026, seems to be kind of spreading like a virus to some of their other offerings, because I also had an issue with my steel frame M&P. You'll see it in the review, but the extractor, metal injection molded extractor, chipped. And I'm waiting for my Apex extractor to come in so that I can take it out, and it's probably going to fall apart because right now it like cracked, chipped, and the chip is wedged like in place. And when I take the
so it's like holding it in place.
Holding it in place. So it's not malfunctioning yet. It eventually would. Eventually that chip would fly out and then it would be toast. But right now it's still working. But I'm planning on, hopefully that Apex extractor will be in tomorrow and I can take it out and get footage of what it looks like out of the gun. But it's actually pretty crazy. Harry's Holster's asking, does anyone know the actual failure rate of Smiths? I got a feeling it's double digits. Dude, I don't know, and I don't think we'll ever know. We can just hear anecdotes and kind of, hear what other people are saying online, because the only people who actually know are at Smith, and they sure as shit are not going to tell anybody. But yeah, definitely unfortunate, especially because we're both huge Smith & Wesson fans. So
yeah, they do their thing. It's just now it's like, I mean, I don't know what the percentage is. I have 5 M&Ps, and then the 6th one was bad. So whatever percentage that is, like just under 20%, I don't know what that is, but that's a pretty high number for a single consumer.
Over the years, I've had a total of 6 M&Ps, and 3 of them had issues. So it's 50% for me. But and that's over the course of probably 10 years of buying M&Ps. So like going back to the 1.0 even. But as far as 2.0s, I've had 3 of them. And 2 of them. So yeah, so 2 of the 3 I had problems with were both 2.0s.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Hopefully they can get their stuff together. Let's see here. We got some more Glock talk here. The Koa is definitely the way to go with the Gen 6. I think so. The Koa is turning into my favorite red dot. Have you messed with those at all?
Yeah, I got to mess with one. I didn't get to shoot it, but I got to hold it and get a good sight picture with it 2 weekends ago. I was up in Tennessee at Modern Warriors, and I like how low they sit, and the window, it just feels bigger. The way the housing's put together, it just feels bigger. I don't know if it actually is spec wise, but
yeah, I like it because it's a tall window. So one of my previous favorite optics was the EPS from HoloSun. And the only issue I had with that is it's a very short window, and the Koa made it a taller window. So it's just more space to track the dot. Not that you like are watching the dot the whole time, but just to reference.
You get more feedback.
Dot. Exactly. More feedback. That's you smart big brain man. But yeah, you have more feedback on the dot, but that's why I like it. And of course it being enclosed is also just convenient for carry. We have from Steven, appreciate the $5 super chat, man. Is the Koa the best closed emitter optic right now for full-size guns? Will you be testing out the HoloSun Pro Max, Ames Macro, or Micro? So what closed emitters have you messed with?
I've only messed with the Steiner MPS and the Acro P2.
And what do you think of those?
The Acro didn't give me any issues, but I've heard some people have had issues. But at the same time, I like to remind people that every company is going to have their lemons. So I think the P2 might be a decent enclosed one. The Steiner, I've had a lot of issues with the one that I've had, but I don't know if it's really Steiner or if like how they interface with M&Ps, because I cannot get it to sit on an M&P to save my life. I've mounted it on 3 different ones. I've gotten different optic plates from different companies, and it will not stay put on an M&P. Maybe it's just too narrow of a, I don't know. I have no idea. But other people have had great experiences with Steiners, and the dot hasn't done anything crazy. It's just I can't keep it mounted on a gun.
What plates are you using? Do you remember?
So again, I think calculated kinetics is one of the best plates out there, 110%. I don't think it was their fault, but I used the screws, the clamp screw sheared when I was shooting it on my M&P. That fell off, sent it back. They gave me another one. I got one from Ford. Is it Ford? No, not Ford Observation. Ford Controls. I used their plate. Got loose after 200 rounds. And then after that, I just said, you know what? I'm going to put this on a rifle or something. I'm not going to put it on a pistol anymore.
Definitely sounds like optic and screw related for sure. But that's, Man, that's weird. But as far as I like the Trigicon RCR now, that's really grown on me. I gave it a positive review, and the more I've shot it, the more I like it. So I really dig the Trigicon RCR. It's also like $1 million. So it's a tough recommend. I have it
Mm-hmm.
on my carry gun, and I'll put it on like, a 10 millimeter that's getting a lot of rounds just because I know it's going to get the crap beat out of it and be okay. So I like the RCR, but as far as the Holosuns go, the one I'm most interested in is the Ames Micro because it's basically doing what the Koa does with a much taller window. So
Mm-hmm.
the Ames Micro could replace the RCR for me on my carry gun because I don't know if it's going to be less bulky, but it's going to have a taller window. And to me, that moves the needle on performance. Like I don't need an optic that's going to survive like a nuclear explosion. I need one that's going to perform and survive, everything that it will practically run into. So the Ames Micro, really excited for it. The Macro, I think looks ridiculous. I wouldn't put it. I'm happy to test it and have my mind changed, but aesthetic wise, it looks like an even worse, bigger mailbox than the
Yeah.
than the Aim Point P2. And then the
Yeah.
Holosun Pro Max, that is like the huge window one, and I'll probably put that on my Bull Armory Blaze.
The micro, is that only going to be for slimline, or that you can put that on like regular size guns too?
I think you can put it on regular size guns too.
Because I thought the macro was only for regular, and like the micro was kind of like the K footprint for like slimline guns. I could be
Yeah,
wrong though.
I think you're correct, but I mean, you can like a lot of people make RMSC and K footprints for full size guns too.
Oh, okay.
So like you'll get plates for those, like adapter plates, and you can run those on your gun. So that's why it's most appetizing to me. So I'm looking
Mm-hmm.
forward to testing it. I'm always hesitant whenever not just Holosun, but any company has a launch for a product. I usually like to wait for them to
Mm-hmm.
iron out issues. Just the nature
I'm
of
a
the
huge
industry.
Holliston fan.
Oh
Huge
yeah, me
Holliston
too.
fan.
I have more Holosuns than anything else by far. I probably have like, man, 20 Holosun optics. It's just
Mm-hmm.
kind of like my go-to. The only gun, like I said, 10 mils and my carry gun are the only things that have Trigicons on them right now.
Yeah, like I have a 407C that has an insane amount of rounds through it, and it just keeps going.
Oh yeah. Yep. No, Holosun, they have really made a name for themselves. So definitely happy to see them improving their products. Um, from Bowslinger, appreciate the $5 super chat, man. Thoughts on one company's ecosystem, i.e., Glock 174519 or M&P or others for full size and compact guns? So, do you mean like thoughts on sticking with one ecosystem? So, like you only shoot Glocks or you only shoot M&Ps and stuff like that? I'm assuming we'll go with that unless we hear otherwise. So, do you think that you
Mm.
should stick with one ecosystem?
Yeah, I think like if you're actually trying to train and stuff, stick with one. Even though I make YouTube content and I don't really review a lot of guns, but I do review guns on the channel. I'll give them like a 2 month, 3 month period of like messing with and stuff, but I always go back to like my main ecosystem because you want to build up that familiarity and you want to build up that consistency because switching guns, it makes training and getting to a certain level really, really hard. But you can do it for sure. Once you learn certain like fundamentals, you can apply that to different platforms. I'm just saying if you want to perform at your highest that you can perform at, sticking with one platform is probably the way to go.
Yeah, unless you really, really commit to just learning everything. Because that's almost been a challenge of mine is
Mhm.
like I got really comfortable with Glocks and I got really comfortable with, like 2011s. I got really comfortable with revolvers. So now I'm at the point where it's like, okay, I can pick up a 2011, I can pick up a revolver and I shoot really well with both of them. But it took a lot of rounds and work. And I would almost like shoot one and then shoot the other and then shoot one and then shoot the other. But that's just because I'm a crazy person. And I was like, can I do this? But I think realistically speaking, if you're not either like an autistic gun nerd that has to shoot every gun on the planet, or if you're not like reviewing guns, or if you're not like a collector just enjoying them, if you're someone who just, has a gun to protect your life and your family and you take training seriously, you take competition seriously, then sticking with one ecosystem is just the smart move.
Yeah, and also one thing I always want to remind people is like it's okay to have fun. Like I know we train and I talk about preparedness and stuff like that, but in any niche there's going to be multiple sub niches, right? Like let's go back to cars. You've
Yeah.
got guys that like to drag race. You got guys that like to get their trucks all the way up into the air. You have guys that like to slam their cars all the way to the ground. no one's wrong. It's just what you enjoy. So if you want to have 10 guns, you live in America, you can do whatever you want and just shoot them all every single day. I'm not going to knock you for it. But if you ask me, how do I get better at shooting? I'm going to tell you to sell like 9 of them and train with one. Like that's just an honest answer. But have fun. Like who cares? Like if you want to train with 3 guns at once, do your thing. It might not be the most efficient way, but have fun with it. It's okay.
I think the other truth is I think there's strength in getting really good and comfortable, like subconscious extension of your arm with one platform, for lack of a better word right now. So like one ecosystem would be the better word. Get really good with that. And then you can kind of transfer that over to another ecosystem. It just feels different. You adapt to it, but the same fundamentals apply. So I think
Yeah.
that's another reason it's a smart move to stick with one ecosystem, at least to start, if you're taking getting better at shooting very seriously.
Yeah, for sure. If you're going the training route, one.
Agreed. Let's get through a couple more comments here. We got thoughts on Shield Arms S10 version G43X. I don't do Shield Arm stuff. Bad taste in my mouth from the magazines, so don't really do that.
Glock came out with the metal mags for the 43X now, so now you don't really have a reason to.
Yeah, and the PSA Dagger micro mags, I actually think I'm going to like the PSA mags better, because I think the Glock mags are going to have a bigger base plate. It's going to suffer from X macro syndrome, where to get 17 rounds in there, they put a giant bumper on there that just increases the length of the grip. So the PSA mags, I have yet to have a malfunction with those, and I've put thousands of rounds through them through different Glocks, through different PSA Dagger micro mags. So I'm looking forward to testing the Glock ones, though.
Nice.
From Kenji, if you swap the internals of your 2 Gen 6s, would it solve the issue of the mushy trigger? Not always, because sometimes it's the tolerances of the frame, like dragging on the trigger bar or something like that. So it's not a guarantee if you swap the internals. Like, for example, even like if you have a Glock that has a mushy, terrible trigger and you toss like a Johnny Glock's or a tactical pontoon trigger in there, you may still end up with some of that same drag, because it has to do with the frame itself. So it's not a guarantee, but it very well could, and it might be worth a shot. Let's see here. Dude, that's my only gripe on those Gen 6s, just Glocks in general. How does Ruger figure out how to make an optic system that doesn't require a plate, and Glock couldn't for years? Have you messed with the Ruger RXM at all?
Nope.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I've seen some really cool setups. What's the company? Is it Icarus that makes grips for them? And I was like, man, I just kind of want to get an RXM just to like spec it out like that, because they look so cool.
Yeah, I really want to try one of those grips out too. What optic would you suggest for a Kimber 2K11 Pro? Prefer larger glass? When I want larger glass, I go HoloSun 507 Comp. I don't know about you.
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say 507 Comp is where it's at.
Yep.
Or the 407 that just came out. I think it's going to be a little bit cheaper.
Yep. And then if you want to be patient and get the largest glass, the Pro Max is coming out later this year.
Yeah, that thing's insane. If I can, like, I looked at it and I was like, man, that is really big.
Yeah, it almost feels
really big. I don't know if I could really use that. And would it fit in any holster? Like retention holster? I don't know.
No, not a chance. Not a chance. That's you need like a ghost holster to fit that. From Agetech, I think they're pumping out too many models. Smith & Wesson. QC is suffering a little. I had to adjust my Bodyguard 2.0 sights. I just spent $400. It should have been good to go. Yeah.
I get it.
And then Harry's Holsters backing it up, saying I've had to adjust both of mine. Yeah. Is this the steel competitor or the carry comp? We're talking about the steel. You have just the regular HD, right?
I have the regular HD because I wanted to get that little bit extra weight without having the slide cuts. So that's why I went that route.
Yeah. So I got the competitor, and like I'm interested to watch your shooting footage and then watch mine, because it feels like the competitor, like shooting it back to back with comparable guns. It feels like the lightning cuts are making it cycle a little faster, which obviously just makes it feel different. It makes it feel.
Have you held both?
Yeah, they had both, and I picked the competitor.
Yeah, the competitor, to me, it feels more balanced. It feels more like the weight is distributed more evenly because of the slide cuts. And I do agree. I think like the return, it's quicker and it's not as harsh. I feel like mine has a little bit more of a thud, but it's very minute, very minute.
Yeah. I would assume that yours probably is a little softer on the way back, and a little clunkier on the way forward versus mine's probably a little sharper on the way back, but also a little like gentler on the way forward. So kind of I mean, again, it would take people that shoot frequently to be able to even tell the difference between the two.
Yeah, it's so minute. Like you'll be fine with either one. They're both gonna feel amazing.
Yeah. Have you thought about taking a look at the new 226X Legion? Maybe. I'm not really doing SIG stuff nowadays. Are you shooting any SIGs anymore?
I'm not, but I will say this. I don't know if it's gonna ruin my image, but I have been looking at videos of the what is it, GT4 that just came out. Is it the GT4 or what is that new like 2011 style?
Oh,
SIG? It's
GTO. Is it GTO?
GTO. Yeah, I think it's that, right?
Yeah, it's either the GTO or I'm thinking of just the Pontiac GTO and I'm getting confused, but I think it's both.
Yeah, that one looks interesting to me. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
yeah,
if I had a lot of extra money, I would probably just buy one just to see what it's all about.
Yeah, same. So I will say that like I've heard good stuff and obviously the reviews have been very positive, but I've had a lot of people in these lives and in comments telling me that they have problems or they had someone like one of their friends had problems or the thing just like fell apart on them. And they're like, the build quality isn't up to the price point. Like it shoots at that price point, but the build quality isn't there. At least that's what I've heard secondhand from the community.
Interesting.
So I don't know. Again, I can't really speak on that stuff until I experience it myself. Just that's what they say at the moment.
Oh, I'm kind of reading the comments now. One person saying the GTO is the 4-inch non-comp model, and then the GTO is the comp model. Then there's a GT5. So they have like 3 different names.
GTO is comp. GT5 is the 5-inch non-comp. GT4 is the 4-inch non-comp.
That's confusing.
Yeah, they're the naming conventions here. As cringe as the name Hellcat is, at least everybody remembers it and knows what it is.
That's why we were getting confused. I was like, GT4? No, GTO sounds right too. Oh.
Yeah, it's like when you're first getting into Glocks and you have to memorize all the numbers. You're like,
dude, that was when I got into guns, that was the worst thing. I was 17, 19, but it's okay, yeah.
Yeah, and then of course, anyone who got into guns like post 2020 had to deal with the Glock 45. It's like I want to.
Dude, that was the most confusing. The 45 is my favorite. I love the short slide with the larger grip, but yeah, the 45, I was like, okay.
Yep. Leave it to the Austrians to do confusing naming conventions. The only thing worse than like Germans and Austrians for naming stuff are like Japanese and Koreans and Chinese, just because it's like just like numbers and letters. It's like you buy like a blender or a microwave or something. It's like, yeah, this is the CT6003876X4ST, and you need a part for it. And you're on eBay like looking for this discontinued handle for your microwave.
Yeah, try to find YouTube videos and tutorials on that thing. You're gonna be seeing all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yep. Thin Line Defense saying, "What up, Brett? Good to see you, man." Playing with the 407 comp in gold. Have you met Thin Line Defense?
No, I've not met him, but I know who he is. I've commented on his videos and stuff. I like his stuff.
Yeah, Walsh, if you're still here, are you going to be at GunCon? Are you going? I don't know. I think it makes some great options for eyes and budgets. Yeah, that's the thing is more options, gold, green, red. More options are always better. Let's see here. Who else we got? We got, what's your guys' favorite go-to ammo of choice from stockpile, training, performance? I love PMC bronze. I'm looking for something to invest in. What do you usually stock up on?
Blazer brass. I love blazer brass. It's just cheap, and no, that's a lie. I've had an issue before. I've had one failure to extract. The casing was like nicked or whatever, but that was like, at that point I've shot probably like 9,000 rounds of it. So 1 in 9,000, I'll take those odds for sure.
Yeah, I've had over blazer brass, like I'm not gonna say like a lifetime of shooting it, but over, I don't know, like 10 years of shooting it. And they all happened in the last probably 3 years. I had 3 squibs. So that was a bummer, but I mostly stopped shooting blazer because I've been shooting a lot of ported guns, and blazer brass is is not a true full metal jacket. It's plated and it'll clog up the ports, and it just yeets out spalling like you wouldn't believe. So I've moved away from that. PMC bronze is a really good option because it works in both ported guns and non-ported guns, and it's affordable, decent performance.
I love
Obviously,
PMC stuff for rifle stuff. I
oh
love their
yeah,
rifle ammo.
yeah, PMC bronze. I run that very frequently in 5.56. But yeah, and then obviously Buffalo Creek sponsors the channel. They just started doing 124 grain ammo. They were only doing 115 for a while, and I'm really liking their 124 stuff. So, and I haven't had any issues in ported guns. So yeah, but I think you're safe with PMC bronze because you can shoot it in everything.
Yeah.
Age Tech Defense. I've stuck with Glock because of the consistent feel. I tried branching out to the 365 XL for carry, but I benched it after. Yeah, benched it after a month. Good gun, but I like my Glocks.
Yeah. And I think that's another great point that you made. You're going to shoot what you like, and it's okay to like it. If I used to, believe it or not, I ran a ton of Glocks and I love Glock. I still love Glock to this day. The main reason, it's funny when I say this, the main reason I switched to M&Ps was because I liked how they looked over a Glock. And then after I shot them for a while, I was like, oh, I actually like the performance more too. But initially when I didn't really know much about guns, I switched to the M&P because I like the way they look. And then now I just prefer the recoil impulse.
What did you see it somewhere that you liked the look of it, or just like did you see it in like a gun magazine or in a movie or what?
I don't know. I just I guess I saw a picture somewhere. I think you know who it was that influenced me. It was what's his name? He used to work for Tier 1 Concealed. I think it's like Clark Shooter on Instagram. I think his name is
Sure.
Sawyer. He
Yeah.
switched, and then that's when I started seeing it a lot. And I was like, man, I kind of like those slide serrations, like the fish scales. And I'm like, man, I really like the way that grip looks. Like it really was calling out to me just aesthetically. And then when I shot one, I was like, oh, I actually like this gun. And then I just stuck with it. But what drew me to it was the look initially.
But yeah, I think what made Clark switch over was Donovan Moore of Point One Tactics was running
shooter.
Dude, he was running I think he was the one I watched when I was doing the Tier 1 Concealed 3.7s drill, or was considering doing it. He cleared it back to back, which I've the only person I've ever seen clear the Tier 1 Concealed 3.7s drill. Literally cleared it, came back, and then cleared it again on camera. And I was like, okay, this dude has to be like one of the best from concealment shooters on the planet. That was insane.
Dude, he is insane. He is insane.
Yeah, he is right up there. He kicks butt. Just reading Thin Line Defense, trying to be there. Yeah, so if you can make it to GunCon, dude, just let me know and we'll meet up. Or I guess I'll be at Bull, so you can come by and say hi. I love Blazer, but it doesn't like ports. Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah. I've heard that. They got a warning on the back too.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like how many of you are actually reading your boxes of ammo? I know I wasn't. Luckily, I never fell down that rabbit hole of shooting. Well, I shot Blazer Brass through a 19C. That's how I learned that there was a difference. And right around the time I did that, it was right after that, Roger Barrera over at QVO plugged up his Bull Armory with, was it his Super Vel that was plated? And that's kind of, it's like it happened to me, it happened to him, and that's when it kind of became known.
A thing, yeah. Ammo. I remember that being like a huge talking point at one point.
Yeah, because like all the dudes who'd been around for a long time, when people started really porting guns frequently in the 90s, those dudes all knew. And like all of us young bucks had to kind of learn the hard way. But it's like ports are now on everything. So ports previously was a very like niche thing that you would do on like a 357 Magnum or a 44 Magnum or something like that to tame the recoil. Now we're porting 9mm to give them 0 recoil.
I'm gonna probably send one of my M&Ps over to Monsoon Tactical to get it ported, because like I don't have any ported guns. I want at least one, and I hear like great things about what he does over there, so I might send one over there. I know for the 5-inch M&P, he has something called the Dime port, I believe.
Dime bag, yeah.
Dime bag, okay. Yeah, that looks insane. And that'd be a fun gun to have.
Yeah, so yeah, if you have like a 5-inch M&P that you want a dime bag, that'd be a heck of an introduction into ports. Let's see here. I run a ported M&P. Blazer ran super dirty for me, but I do like Blazer. Yeah, you got to be careful, because depending on the ports, that plating can get stuck in one of the ports, and then every time a bullet goes through the rifling, it'll catch on that plating and you'll get flyers. So that's what you have to be careful of. And then also, I mean, the spalling is nuts. How do you feel about remanufactured ammo? I shoot HSL and Defender ammo and haven't had any issues.
I've shot thousands of HSL rounds, pistol and rifle, zero issues. So reman, if it's from a reputable company, you're not gonna have any issues.
Yeah, I personally I don't mess with remanufactured ammo. That's just
Mhm.
me. So I can't really speak on it because I don't shoot it. I don't know. When did you get into guns?
2020, whenever COVID started, because Atlanta
Yeah,
was getting crazy, and I had to go in Atlanta a few times for work, and I was just like, you know what, I can't be in here without, because like Atlanta was having some issues, politically and everything. So it was a pretty interesting time, and that's when I bought my first gun, and I started training probably a year or two after that, like when I found the whole training ecosystem niche
yeah.
world.
What was your first gun?
It was a 365
Yeah, that's
XL. It was the XL.
the XL. Yeah. So what did you do research or did you walk into a gun store and walked out with it?
I went on YouTube. I was just like, what's a good gun you can carry? Saw a couple of videos, just went and bought the 365 XL. I didn't know anything.
Yep. And now here you are making videos.
Yeah, yeah, making videos that I wish I had.
Yep, with 55,000 subs.
Yeah, that still blows my mind. I don't know why
Yeah,
people are watching me so much.
that's why they're watching you because I don't know why people watch me either. But I think that's kind of like a breath of fresh air in the space is everyone wants people to watch them so bad, and we're just kind of trying to be helpful.
Well, so, um, this is I'll try to shorten this up because like my reason for making videos now has completely changed. But when I first started, obviously when you start a YouTube channel, you're like, oh, I want to make it. I want to get views, I want to get this and that. So I won't lie and say that was, kind of the mindset I was in when I started. But that quickly changed when I moved to the town I'm in now. It's a small town in North Georgia. And me having channel success started inspiring people around me. And now people were seeing like, hey, this guy's, you know, chasing a dream. I want to chase my dream too. And then over time, I saw how it was affecting everyone around me. And now I don't even make videos like for me. I feel like it's a responsibility to give everyone around me permission to follow your dreams and like chase your passions because we only get this one shot at this life thing. So like when it's like my wife, she'll tell you, I tell her every night after I get done with work, I have to start working on concrete cowboy stuff. I tell her to go get enough sleep for both of us because I'm gonna be up late. But it doesn't like I don't feel like it's a sacrifice. I feel like it's kind of like a responsibility to like keep encouraging the people around me to get after it. So, even though it's long nights and stuff, I'm not just doing it for myself anymore. My why is becoming so much bigger. And now it's just like it's bigger than me. And I think that's why I'm seeing so much success because I think people can feel that it's coming from a genuine place as opposed to, hey, I want to be in the spotlight.
Yeah, I that's the thing is like I don't want to be in the spotlight. That's
Yeah.
not that
I
was
just
never
want to
really
shoot
my
with
thing.
people and just have fun.
Yeah, my thing was I didn't have a lot of people to talk to about guns. And I'm like, well, I'll just talk about guns on camera then.
Yeah.
And like you said, it evolved beyond that when it hits a certain point where it's like, okay, now I got screwed by so many guns that I'd watch reviews like they're amazing, and then I get it and it breaks or it's terrible or it has this thing wrong with it and that thing wrong with it. And I'm like, why did no one talk about this? So
Hmm.
now I like it's become now I want to save people money. I want to save people from there's nothing more frustrating than spending a lot of money on a gun and then there's just something about it that's not good and you're like, well, why didn't anybody talk about this? And I think we know a lot of the reasons why no one talks about that kind of stuff.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I find a lot of the times I'm making videos that I wish I had. So it's like I'm making videos for like past me, but there's going to be like a ton of past me's. There's always someone getting into guns for the first time every single day, every single hour. So like those people, they still need to be catered to. I don't just want to stay in the advanced side of things, which I'm not saying I'm advanced, but um, I want to make sure everyone gets a chance to learn.
Yeah, no, for sure. Also, this is funny. Have you guys shot a steel frame M&P yet? I'm thinking about getting the competitor HD to run it in carry optics and heard nothing but good things about it. Pure coincidence. I promise it's just coincidence, but both of our videos are going live this weekend on the steel frames. So
You're gonna have some opinions. You're gonna have
yep,
stuff to watch for sure.
yeah, you'll have Cowboys on Saturday and mine on Sunday. So
Hopefully I can make it by Saturday because tomorrow and I have a lot going on right now. So if not
spinning a lot
Saturday,
of plates.
Sunday, but I think it'll be out Saturday.
All right. Well, keep an eye out. If it's not, you know it's coming soon. I also like this. Looking cool is half the battle for those M&Ps.
Yes, it is.
You guys see that guy in, I think, Texas that 2A'd the guy trying to steal his car with his family in it? He didn't practice great gun handling, I'm assuming, but I was glad to see he's likely not facing charges. Did you see that video?
I saw a reel on my like as soon as I got back to the house before I hopped on here. And I think it was that video where it was saying some guy in Texas, like someone was trying to steal his car and his family was in it. And then I just put my phone down. I didn't get to watch the video. So I haven't seen the full video, but I'll probably watch it after this.
Yeah, it's the whole thing where, this is something where I stir up a bit of a controversial opinion on this is, people are like, not people. There are some people out there who will say, don't carry a gun unless you have a lot of training. I'm in the camp of be aware, like safety, and be able to, get your gun out and shoot it safely and carry the gun while you're learning instead of waiting. Because like, this is a dude who clearly was not very experienced with a gun, but was able to save his family because he had a gun at all on him. So, and it's like, you watch active self-protection. There are people that aren't very well versed in gun handling that manage to squeak out survival just because they had a gun on them. So
it's the greatest equalizer.
Yeah, but obviously I think please train, please, get your marksmanship skills as good as you possibly can. But really, there's a reason the first rule to a gunfight is have a gun. Because you may not even have to discharge a round. Just having the gun present may make it go away. Don't plan on that, but that happens more often than not, is just presenting a firearm. That's the only, I don't consider it to be a defensive encounter officially, but there was a time where I had to clear my shirt and put my hand on my gun to make a situation go away. Never called the police, just let it go because I was somewhere where I wasn't supposed to have it anyways. But that was a time that I don't know if having the gun saved my life, but having it there, if made the potential problem go away. And I'm really glad that I had it on me. And that's the thing, is I didn't need a lot of training in that moment to make that problem go away. Luckily, I did not need to go any further than that. But I think having a gun and just being aware of safety is the bare minimum for carrying a gun, because there are so many situations that are resolved just from having a gun on you.
Yeah, I had an experience when I was down in Savannah. We were like a group of us went on vacation, and it was my wife was my girlfriend at the time. I don't think we were engaged yet, but we were at this rooftop restaurant, and it was only like a couple stories high. I think it was like 3 or 4 stories high, and all of a sudden there were 5 shots, and like the whole restaurant froze. I had my gun on me, and my immediate reaction was like, okay, I do train. I do feel confident with it, but I need to understand the situation as well. And I think my biggest takeaway from that incident wasn't like, can I defend myself? It was nice knowing that I had enough. I'm not saying I'm the best shooter out there, but I had enough confidence in myself to think about other things other than the shooting part. Like I wasn't like worried about like, okay, I got to make sure I have my grip right and this and that. Like there was enough training there to where I could think about where are those shots coming from?
Yeah.
Is it in the restaurant? Is it outside the restaurant? Where am I to get my friends to move? We need to get out of here because it's not always about being. I think people think like you go on the offensive in those situations, but it's very situational based because after those 5 shots, there were no more shots. We didn't know if it was an isolated incident or if somebody was coming to. It was a whole thing. But like you said, actually, I don't even know where I'm going with this now. But I was glad I had it with me at the time.
Yeah. And yeah, that's the thing is
and it turned out to be an isolated incident between 2 people outside.
Yeah, but just to piggyback, to use some corporate speak, just to piggyback off of what you said, I think that, like you said, when you have your marksmanship skills down and your draw and all that kind of stuff, it opens you up to be able to focus on other things. Like if you need to what's your backstop, right? What's behind? Like, are you going to be, are there other people behind where if you miss or if there's pass through that you have to worry about that? You can look for exits and stuff like that. Cause if it's go time and the metaphorical beeper goes off, that like you have trained and you have that the skills to respond as best as you can. And hopefully it works out in your favor, but it's not like in the story you shared of your buddy and your carry the biggest gun that you can video. He's, sitting there feeling a little less than confident with the 43X he had on him. That's not a thought that you want to have going through your head. You want to be confident in your gear and your skills with your gear.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, I see someone in there, they were saying that every situation is different. Absolutely. Like there's no right answer. Like, and I'm not saying you can't train for this stuff, but it's very hard to, like, you can't just sit there and think of every single scenario. Everything is going to be different. So like you said, like, looking for exits, someone would rebuttal and say, well, you should know the exits. Well, in my situation, I knew where the exits were, but then my mindset was like, can I get the people that I love out of those exits fast enough? Because everyone's going to go to the opposite side of the room. There's only one way out, outside of the front door. And then two, am I the most qualified person to handle the situation? Because you don't want to just draw your gun, run outside, and there's a bunch of cops, and then you get lit up. So like, there's so many variables, and it's really hard to just give a finite answer because there is none. You have to really analyze it in real time, and it's such a tough thing that it's like I said, it's really hard to train for that. You just have to take it as it comes.
Yeah, and something that a lot of people don't realize is like when something like that happens, especially a mass casualty event, exits clog up. So
they clog up fast.
So like, yeah, sure, your exits, but what if they're all clogged up? Then what's your plan there? So you have to be able to think on the fly to make those decisions. Like there was a dude, he uploaded some YouTube videos. He was at the Walmart mass casualty event that happened a few years back, and he thought ahead. He's like, dude, stuff's going to get clogged up. I'm going to get in my truck, get out of here. And I'm going to go around the backside of Walmart because that exit's not going to be clogged up because, everyone's going to be trying to leave the parking lot out onto the street. So I'm going to go around the back of Walmart and leave. He goes around the back of Walmart. Turns out 30 other people had that thought, and there was a traffic jam back there. And now he's looking at the exit door of the Walmart thinking this dude could pop out of that exit door, and he's a sitting duck in his truck. So it's one of those things where, yeah, he's aware of the exits, but he got into one and it was clogged. So that's the thing, is you have to be able to think on the fly and adapt. It's collateral to adapt, I Ching, whatever.
And that's why I disclose, like, I'm not an expert and no one in here is an expert. We're just talking theoreticals. So it's a hard topic to cover.
Yep. No, we can talk about marksmanship stuff. All the rest of this is just, thinking ahead with just common sense. Question for both of you. When you produce a video, what's the hardest or most annoying process during creation? And then we'll do the next one after that. What's your favorite rifle? So what's the most annoying or the hardest part of making a video?
I don't have an annoying part because I really enjoy it. I think the hardest part is, so I write out like my scripts, not maybe word for word, but I write out all my talking points and all the details I want to cover. And that to me is like, probably the hardest part, like, because you don't want to just regurgitate what you heard from somebody else. You want to make sure it comes from a very unique place. I see Thin Line said editing. I actually enjoy editing. I do that for my work, so I enjoy that part. But yeah, the actually like getting the details together so that I can start the information spread of the video, like the talking portion.
Yeah, that's I wing my videos. I literally go off of what's in my brain. So
really,
yeah,
dude, your videos are very detailed. I'm surprised.
I don't know. I guess that's just how my brain works, but I just sit down and I just wing it. I'm just really good at, like, I can get up on stage on a microphone and just talk and it's fine. But with like no prep, I literally did a speech in front of like standing room, 1,000 people when I was a senior in high school. And I should have prepped for like the 3 weeks beforehand, but I didn't. I just went up there and winged it. And then I ended up making it in the local newspaper. I don't know, just how my brain works. But for me, I don't really have a hardest part. The hardest part maybe is coming up with idea. Like if I don't have gun reviews, coming up with an idea that I think a lot of people would be interested in watching that's creative. But the annoying thing for me is editing. Didn't used to be, but I've been doing film stuff since middle school. So I edited all through middle school, all through high school. I was in I got my degree in film and media production, so I edited all through college, and then I did the YouTube channel. So I've been editing for half my life, and I'm kind of over it. Like it's not terrible. It beats, you know, working on an oil rig. That like kudos to those guys for just kicking ass every single day. I'll sit down and I'll edit. I'm okay with that, but it is a little annoying.
Dude, I'm gonna pray for both of us that we get to a point where we can have an editor.
Yeah,
Because I've thought about that so many times. I'm like, man, if I was doing this full time and I had an editor, I think that would just open up the doors to just more creative ideas and more creative projects.
oh, I've had the same thought, and I feel like I'm getting close. I feel like
Mhm.
maybe 2027 is going to be the year where I can have an editor. So fingers crossed for that. But what's your favorite rifle?
I don't know if I have a favorite rifle. Uh, I don't know. I don't think I have a favorite rifle. I enjoy so many of them.
You have
I
to pick
have
one. There are children being held hostage, and if you don't pick a
I
favorite
have to
rifle
pick
and you
one.
don't know it in your heart as being your favorite rifle, then those children are going to be forced to eat broccoli.
Oh man.
Save the children from the broccoli.
Dude, I have no idea. That's 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 making
The
me feel so
broccoli,
bad. Like I really
the
don't have
broccoli's
a
on the
favorite
spoon. The
rifle.
airplane is going in.
I don't know. Some 12.5 setup with a Criterion barrel. That's something along those lines. I don't have because like the thing is I change everything on my rifles anyways. So I don't have like a favorite out of the box rifle.
Yeah, even just like not out of the box, just like favorite rifle that you have.
Oh, that I have, or is he
Yeah.
saying like just in general?
Yeah, just pick one that even one that you've like built up. Which one do you like?
I think the favorite rifle that I have right now is my Griffin Mark II, my 14.5. That thing just does so much really, really well. Like really well.
Very
I like that
nice.
one a lot.
Yeah, unfortunately for me, a lot of my rifles are actually pistols. So technicality there, not about to incriminate myself, but I think my favorite rifle, um, I got to go with. I don't know if it's because ammo just became rare and it's like a treat to shoot it, but an AK in 7.62 by 39. I have
Ooh.
a tricked out Yugo AK that's actually technically a rifle because it's an SBR. I Form 1'd it, but that thing is a blast to shoot. It's not necessarily what I would grab if I needed one, but it's my favorite for sure.
Do you know who Gorilla in the Mist is on YouTube?
No,
Look them up. They're local to me. I've actually made a video with them, and there's a young dudes that run AKs, and they can run those AKs. And like
yeah,
they convinced me I want to get an AK and put some Midwest Industries furniture on it.
yeah. No, that's if you don't have an AK, you gotta get in there. Let's see here. Would you ever consider running an FRT in one of your 2011s or 1911s for fun? Like, yeah,
Oh
I
man.
just like anyone else. I enjoy running an FRT, and my favorite, quite possibly my favorite thing on the planet, other than revolvers, is like machine pistols. So I'm 100% on board with that. Have you messed with FRTs at all?
Yeah, a little bit. And super safeties, but everyone always brings up the Taurus. What is it? The Taurus. I forgot what model it is. It's the 22 that
Oh
everyone
yeah,
puts a suppressor on and they run it full auto. That thing is so much fun.
yeah. What is it? The TX22, I think is what it's called.
I think so.
Let's see here. Thin line. It sucks when firearm companies give 20% commission, so you get reviewers willing to say anything to make a buck. Is that how it works? Like, obviously, I know that people get paid and stuff, but I always thought it was like a check that got cut. It sounds like
It
of
sucks when
stories.
farms companies give 20% commission, so you get reviewers willing to say anything. So I have reviewed. I don't know how many guns I've reviewed, but I haven't gotten any, commission. I've actually turned it down once, but most of the time they just send the firearm out. Now, is it cherry picked? I have no idea. That's probably a possibility. I'm not gonna deny that, but I'm sure people do get commission. But I don't know. Is that like a common thing? Because I
Yeah,
haven't
I mean,
seen that yet.
so I was offered an exclusivity deal that I just laughed at and turned down. But like that's the thing is by just running the channel outside of that, I get to pick what I run. And like, that's the thing, is my love for Bull Armory is genuine. It's what I picked. I could pick anything that I wanted. And like, that's the one that I picked. And like, I was running a Staccato XC, and then I basically discovered Bull Armory. And I'm like, oh, this ported Bull is easier to carry and shoots as well as the Staccato XC. And it holds one more round in the magazine. That was kind of like a no-brainer for me. It was an easy pick.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you need to check out Bull for sure. It'll change your life.
They're definitely on my watch list, like to do something, buy one of their guns.
Yep. It's one of those things where like people know that Bull is good, and then you get one and shoot one, and you're like, oh, I thought I knew, but I didn't know. I mean, just the value alone for the performance that you're getting is insane. And that's one of the reasons I like them so much, is because one of their core values is offering a good value for performance. So
yeah.
From Chevy Thriller 334, appreciate the $10 super chat, man. Be honest, including your sponsorships, do you really believe in the product you give positive reviews? Seems like everyone is reviewing the same product at the same time. How do we know it's honest? It's hilarious because we're both reviewing the steel frame M&P at the same time. But you go ahead and take this one first.
So just regarding the steel frame, I bought that with my own money. That was not sent to me. I'm guessing when you say sponsorships, you're actually talking about like equipment being sent in. And yeah, actually, one of my biggest things, which every company that I've worked with so far, I can advocate for, that they are really cool in person, because I've told them, if you send this to me, one, you're not getting a turnaround. Like, I'm not trying to call anybody out, but I don't like it when people get stuff and then a week later they have a review. I can't stand that. Like, you didn't run it. So I always tell them it's going to be 2 or 3 months before you see a video. Like, I'm going to run this at matches, or I'm going to run this on my range days in training and really test it out. And then 2, I get to say whatever I want. And every company that you've seen me review on my channel, they've agreed to those terms. Now, there are reviews that were offered to me that you don't see on my channel because they didn't want to do that. They're like, well, we want you to say this. And I was like, well, I can't do that, because then I'm not really reviewing it. I'm just promoting, and that's not really what I want to do. In regards to like channel sponsors, because I don't know if you mean guns or just sponsors in general. Channel sponsors, I definitely stand behind. Both of my channel sponsors are just phenomenal companies, and I stand behind their products 110%. So that's why I added them onto the channel.
Yeah, and just know that like what you're looking at here are two people who operate, like, we're doing the best we can to like keep the glue together on our channels, because we do run our channels from, we have morals, we have values, we have principles, because like I'm the same way. I have turned down many videos over the last 3 years where they were like, either they wanted me to sign an NDA, and in that NDA was like a non-disparage agreement, and I'm like, immediately no. I'm like, if you remove the non-disparage agreement, I'll do it. Because the NDA is usually like, you can't talk about this until this date. But then I always read down and it's like, some non-disparage agreement. And I've never had one of those companies remove the non-disparage agreement from the NDA. And it's a hard no on all of them. And the companies get really mad. I'm blacklisted from several very big companies because of that were like, oh, here's this young up and coming channel. Let's get in early. And I refuse to do that. So, anytime I'm sent a product, like you said, I make it very clear. I do an honest review, even if it's something that's subjective. If I don't like it, I'm going to say it. If something goes wrong with the gun, I'm going to show it. Yeah, sure. I'll give you a chance to fix it and see how that goes, but I'm going to share what happened. So that's how I operate when stuff is sent in. And very few companies will work with me that way. That's why the ones who do really stand out above the rest. I'm impressed. In my opinion, it's the new meta for reviews, is sending it to honest people. Like, look at what Ben Steger did for the Kimber 2K11. It's like he will literally say anything. Like, obviously he has his personality, but people know his personality. And when he gave the 2K11 a stamp of approval, despite, several things he didn't like about it, I'm very much the same way. It did wonders for their marketing. So I think companies are because the thing is, like, all of you guys that are watching this right now, you're not dumb. This isn't your first day on GunTube.
We're all grown adults. Like, I like to think we're all very smart-ish,
But it's like, you can see, you can read between the lines is what I'm saying. And I think these companies are figuring out that their customer base has, they can read between the lines, and they know when something's being promoted, and they know when something's actually being reviewed and evaluated. So,
and I kind of want to stay on that topic real quick of
yeah.
Kimber, because you brought him up. I know, a lot of us, you guys got to take our word for what it is. But I can say for a fact, Kimber is one of those companies that I am very impressed with, because they sent a gun out. I told them I want to say what I wanted to say.
Mhm.
I had a lot of positives, but I had negatives.
Mhm.
And they reached back out to me. They said, one, we absolutely love the feedback. They didn't come hostile at all. Then
Yeah.
two, we had an email thread of them. How can we improve this? And then three, they told me improvements that we're going to make later on. And
Yep.
then later on, they made those improvements. And I was like, are you serious? Like, Kimber is killing it right now, not because they're just making good products, but because of how they're operating with the audience. They're
Yep.
actually listening, and they're taking that constructive criticism as opposed to getting offended and blocking you.
Absolutely. Yeah. And like I said, that's becoming the new meta. And the thing is, it blows my mind that it took companies this long to figure it out. Like, yeah, go figure, listen to your customers' feedback and then give them what they want. Like, to me, it just seems like common sense, but a lot of these companies are just so out of touch. And I'm not saying that at Kimber, everybody is on board with operating that way, but enough people who understand are able to push it through that. Well, that's why they're seeing so much success. So I like it. Kimber is one of the few that actually, puts their money where their mouth is. It's here. This is no strings attached. You can even kind of crap on it in a video, and they're like, "Let's make it better. How do we do this? Like, let's talk through this." And like you said, I've had email threads with them too of here are improvements. Here are places
like they are not afraid to just give it to you, just give you the product, and just you do whatever you need to.
Exactly. So one of the few, and I'm assuming that more companies are going to start hopping on board with that, because like the Kimber's success is palpable. I also want to touch on sponsors. Because I have channel sponsors like DPM Systems. I do not take sponsors that I do not believe in. Period. That's how it works. Is I have to believe in the product before I even accept or consider the sponsorship. If someone reaches out and they're like, "Hey, I want to, sponsor your video with this firearm related product," I'm like, "Okay, send it to me first. Let me evaluate it first. And then if I like it and I recommend it to people, then we can talk about you, getting ad spots on the channel." I will not recommend something I don't stand behind. And I've had it happen 2 times where someone contacted me, a viewer contacted me with an issue with a product. I just immediately forward it to that company. And I'm like, let me know how this turns out. Because if they don't take care of that person, they're no longer a sponsor. So like, that's how I operate. Also know that we are kind of, we are not the rule. We are kind of exceptions when it comes to that, but I'm hoping more people start hopping on board with that philosophy.
Yeah, I think it's hard because when money gets waved in your face, you're like, oh wow, I can do this. But the thing is, it's a long-term thing. I'm looking to do right by as many people as possible, and I'm looking to make sure I not step on any toes along the way. Like I don't think I need to discourage or despair other channels for this and that. So when money comes to the conversation, I have to look at my mission statement, like my personal mission statement, and then what the people that are sticking around are actually wanting from me and doing right by them. Because like I said earlier, like there have been some, I don't want to say life changing, I'm not going to lie, but deals that would have helped a lot with a lot of things that I've had to turn down because it just didn't align with the direction I wanted to go with the channel.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And that's the thing is, I think a lot of people don't realize that the money that you get from these deals, the the non-monetary value of turning it down is greater than the value of the money itself. So for example, like let's say you sell your soul and you get like, I don't know, a couple grand to say that this certain gun is cool, right? If you're someone who was already operating an honest channel, people are not dumb. They will see through it. Heck, people think that I'm being dishonest sometimes on videos that I am being honest on because it's just a positive review. The first one that comes to mind that I got dragged on Reddit for was the Zermatt Welts 9. People thought that like they paid me or they sent, Dude, I didn't even get to keep the gun. They sent me a late stage prototype, said no strings attached, run it. The gun rocked. Like, go figure. The $5,000 super gun was awesome. But people are really, really suspicious nowadays. So it's not worth the hit you take to your reputation taking that money. And I think that people just can't think that far ahead. Regardless of that, though, it's not even in my DNA to accept that stuff. Like, it's just a hard no for me. I've been through some stuff in my life that has made me realize that there are far more important things in life than money. And, you know, I would rather be poor and honest than rich and corrupt.
Dude, I agree 110%. And I'm lucky to have been in a situation where a lot was taken from me in my
Yeah.
life. And I found, you know, you guys know I'm openly talking about my faith. He was there for me, and then I got that fulfillment, and nothing fills me more than him, and money can't replace that. So I don't need the money to have a fulfilling life.
Yeah.
Does money help? Absolutely. I'm not going to sit here and lie, but
Yeah.
I can turn down stuff like that because I'm in such a good headspace with my heart and my mind with the Lord that, you know, I don't need to take that quick buck just to, you know, get by for the month or whatever. I'll figure it out, you know.
Yeah. No, I could not have said it better myself. I completely agree. When you've been through hard stuff, it puts things in perspective, assuming that you can process it that way and you're not coping in a negative way.
You really see what matters.
Yeah. From Chevy Thriller again, appreciate the super chat, man. Really appreciate the support. Thank you. I appreciate the honesty. So many channels just sponsor things for views. I really trust the both of you, but so far haven't been let down. Cowboy, trying barbell apparel soon, and your beliefs. My wife and I enjoy your ending remarks. Thank you both.
I will say this because I can't say anything yet, but hold off. If you like the pants on the website, wait a week. Just wait a week if you're thinking about trying it out. That's all I can say. Can't say what's gonna happen, but just wait a week. But oh man, barbell pants, the covert pants are my favorite pants, man. I wear them every day. I'm wearing them right now. I wear them every day, everywhere, everywhere. Love them.
GBRS and the P320 as an example right off the bat. Someone who sold their soul for a big fat check.
Oh boy.
Full Metal Sensei. Oh, hey, what's up, man? Just saw this live. Two of my favorite channels with the chat. Love to hear honest opinions, even if they hurt my feelings. C4X. Sorry. It is a good gun. It really is. LOL. Much love, guys. Have you met Full Metal Sensei, Honey Bear Tactical?
I don't think so. I've seen the name before. He's been in your lives before, right?
No, but he's I like him a lot. He's
no, I mean like in the chat, not like on.
Oh yeah, in the chat for sure. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I've seen his name before. That's why it looked familiar.
But no, he's awesome. Everyone go subscribe to Honey Bear Tactical.
I'll check it out.
By the way, are you going to GunCon? Curious if you're going to be there, because if you are, I'd like to say hi. From Thin Line, the Zermatt guys are cool as hell too. They are. That's the thing, is they're really grounded. They're another company who's like, I want to make my stuff better. Please give me feedback. I want to give you what you want. So, and then what y'all think about the new Race City Core 4.6? Some people saying it keeps up with Atlas Athena. I haven't shot one yet. I've held one. I have not.
I don't even know what that is, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm really bad at keeping up with like new gun stuff. I'm always just trying to find ways to like get better at shooting. And I'm like the worst gun tuber. When new stuff comes out, I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, no, I'm actually glad that like you have so much good content on your journey as far as like becoming a better shooter. I think that if anyone's interested in becoming a better shooter and you think like, I don't have the time, or I don't have the money, or I don't have the ability or the, you know, the talent. Like that's one of the reasons I love your channel so much, is because you literally show your journey on how you improve and get better. And you're now you're darn good.
I don't know about that. I'm just consistently trying. That's what I'm doing. Consistently trying.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is it's always improving, always getting better. And it's funny because right when you think that you understand how things work and you're on the right path, then something challenges your beliefs and you're like, whoa, okay, it turns out I actually don't know anything.
Yep.
Oh, clicked on the wrong thing. There we go. Thanks, bro. I will be at GunCon, so love to buy y'all a beverage. And thanks to you, I'm looking at these Bull Armory. Yeah, Bull Armory is the way to go. The Staccato C4X at almost 4 Gs for the premium versus the same, if not better, performance from Bull Armory at like 2 Gs to 2,500. It puts things into perspective, and you get one more round in the magazine. But yeah, definitely, I'll see you there. You can buy me a bottle of water. And I will be grateful. Can we talk about the 12.5 build, please? I had reached out regarding your thoughts on LPVO versus magnifier combo.
Oh yeah. The 12.5. I'm gonna be making a video. It might be coming out this month. I actually have a schedule that I have that's usually like 2 or 3 months out. I think it comes out this month. I'll be talking about it. I've been working on some things and I have some ideas with it. So yeah, I'll be talking about it pretty soon. And yeah, I'm going to be rocking the red dot or the EOTech and the magnifier on that one instead of my go-to LPVO, because I love LPVOs. I love them, but I'm trying the red dot or the holographic sight magnifier combo this time.
I switched from LPVO to EOTech and magnifier, at least on my grab and go gun last year. And
I'm not switching. I'm just trying.
But it's definitely pros and cons.
Yeah, for sure.
Again from Chevy Thriller, really appreciate the support, man. Thanks for another super chat. Thinking of doing a run and gun competition. Is the M&P metal a great or good choice?
I think it'll be just fine. So a lot of people, they've reached out to me about one of my competitions. I think it's labeled my worst competition ever or something like that on my channel, where I fell into like this, I don't want to say puddle. I fell into some water with a lot of mud in it, and it jammed up my M&P. A lot of people were saying, oh, it wouldn't happen with the Glock. But what you didn't see that day, the weather was horrible. And a lot of people that are doing their running guns were coming back to the start line to get their guns cleaned, to go back out there. There were Glocks, there were rifles, there were all kinds of guns going down. So it wasn't really just an M&P thing. And I think that kind of put a bad taste in people's mouth when it comes to M&Ps. But I wanted to show that anyway, because I think it's important to show your bad matches as well as your good ones. I think the metal is going to do just fine for a running gun. Like, honestly, this thing just runs. It runs just as good. When I say just as good as a polymer one, it runs reliably, unless you have QC issues. But mine's been running reliably like the polymer one, and it shoots softer and flatter. So I think it'd be a great running gun. Gun.
Yeah, that's the thing is my experience so far with the metal has been great, specifically the steel frame HD. But I recommend it. Like, my only thing is the trigger, when you compare it to other things that you can run, like just looking at USPSA, right? Like, limited optics and carry optics, comparing the trigger to triggers on other guns that you're going to be going up against, you're going to be at a disadvantage trigger wise. Now, if you like you said, sticking with one ecosystem, if you get really good with that OEM M&P trigger, and it is your life and it is your muscle memory, it is an extension of you, then you're not going to have an issue at all. But, someone running like a Shadow 2, I don't know, like, I pick up an M&P, and then I pick up, like, if you're talking limited optics, a Bull Armory Blaze, and
you'll feel the difference.
Smokes the M&P. I'd have to put like an Apex trigger, Apex barrel, that kind of stuff in the M&P, a DPM system, in order to close the gap. But that's just me.
You know what's really weird about this though? I'm not gonna put an Apex in the steel frame.
You're gonna run it.
That's throwing a lot of people off. I don't know. Maybe this is a QC thing, because my trigger is pretty light, and I'm like, I kind of like this.
Do you have a trigger gauge?
No, I do not. But compared to my other M&Ps, it is lighter, and I think there might be like that might have been an accident, but I like it.
It's a consistency thing, because my aluminum frame competitor has a lighter trigger than my steel frame, and the steel frame has a worse reset than the aluminum frame, and that's like my big thing. Is I had a 1,000 round range day. I was out there for hours, and I was getting fatigued towards the end of it, and I was starting to get trigger freeze. And then I got out my M&P with the Apex, and I wasn't having trigger freeze. But again, I'm not shooting the OEM M&P trigger all the time. It's not an extension of me. I'm shooting 2011 most of the time. But as I got fatigued, I just wasn't resetting the trigger all the way, just because the reset's a little longer than I would like it to be. But like, I'm running like Langdon Tactical Berettas and Bull Armories and 2011s and Apex triggers and M&Ps and stuff like that. So just not what I'm used to.
It's like non-existent too. Like just the reset on the steel frame. Whenever I release, I'm like, you don't hear anything. You
Yeah.
barely feel anything. So when you're just shooting, you just have to just go all the way out and back in. You're
Oh
not
yeah.
gonna feel anything.
You watch my footage, my fingers like this, just slapping the.
Almost coming all the way off.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So yeah, good choice. Good choice. Brett is the reason I bought a bowl. My only regret is that I didn't buy two. I hear that way more often than you would even
You're the
realize.
reason why I'm looking at them. I've been looking at them for like a year and a half now. I'm like, I need to
Yeah.
get one.
No, they're super dope. So where are we all going out for a beverage after GunCon? The vending machine for a bottle of water. Or if you really want to treat me, go to Sprouts or Whole Foods and get me Mountain Valley. That's the good stuff.
This is my cup. It's a girly cup that I've made more masculine. My wife got two of these, and I wanted one, so I put
Is
a
that
lot
an
of cool
actual
stickers on it.
Stanley? Is that a Stanley branded
It's a
one?
Simply Modern.
Oh, okay. Simply modern.
Yeah, but it's cool now. It's got cool stickers on it.
Yeah, not enough anime girls though. You need some more of those.
Oh no, I don't think she'd like that. But I watch a lot of anime. I will say that.
What are some of your favorites?
I'm not like, because when I say what I watch, people are like, "Oh no, you're just on surface level." But I'm like, it is what it is. But yeah, like right now, AOT has like completely blown me away as like it's just the best. I grew up on Naruto. Like it came out when I was in fifth grade, I think, and I watched it all the way through college, like Naruto and then Shippuden. Um, I haven't finished Demon Slayer. I need to finish that because that the visuals on that are just insane. And I love the music in Demon Slayer. Like I'm a
Yeah.
cinematographer, so music is like really important to me, and they killed it with their scores.
Oh, same with
What
AOT
else?
though. Attack on Titan is like the goated OST. That thing's insane.
Dude, the music, if you go to my Instagram and watch some of my reels, I have Attack on Titan scores in there. And
Oh
people are
yeah.
like, "Where is this from? It sounds just so familiar." And I'm like, you know,
Yeah.
you know.
No, Attack on Titan's really, really good. But yeah,
Dude,
once
I'm trying to get my wife to watch it because I'm like, I know you don't watch anime. I know. But the story is
yeah.
so good. Like you think you know what's going on, and like multiple times I've just been blown away and I have to rewatch the whole thing. It is so good.
Yeah, and the animation is so good too, especially with your cinematography background, just appreciating not like the storyboarding and the planning out. I mean, granted, it's from a manga, but the way they adapted it is just nuts. The
They did a
camera movement.
great job. They did a
Yeah.
great job.
But yeah,
It, it
when you're all caught up and you're ready to get into some of the like less mainstream stuff, Black Lagoon is the gun anime. So if you're a gun guy, you got to check out Black Lagoon.
Have you heard of? I just came across this and I want to watch it. It's called. I saved it on my phone.
Gunsmith
The
Cats.
Legend of Hay 2? High? The Legend of High
No.
2? It's like some anime that has guns in it as well. But like it's like super. I don't want to say they have superpowers, but it's like it's this weird thing where it's like kind of like Naruto meets the gun world. Like
All
some
right.
people have these powers and then other people just have guns, and it's
So
so cool. It's so cool.
there's going to be someone in chat who's going to be like, I've been waiting for this moment, and they're going to know exactly what you're talking about.
Legend of High 2. It's a movie though. I don't think it's a
Okay.
series.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to check it out too, though. From Chevy Thriller again, appreciate another $5, man. Seriously, thank you. Okay, well, I want to get my wife into the run and gun comp. What, in your opinion, is a good pistol with a good trigger? What's
Honestly, I
so
would just
what?
take whatever you have.
Yeah, take what you got. The important thing is to just be. How about this? Take whatever she likes best. Because if she likes it, she's gonna have more fun.
There was a couple at the last running gun I did, like husband and wife, and they did a great job. And like that is like ultimate goals. Like his wife actually does the running gun with him, and they do like they train for him. It's really, really cool. So it's really fun for everybody, in my opinion.
Right on. So we're going to start winding things down a little bit here, but we'll hit a couple more comments on the way out the door. Bill Armory might be nice, but I've never been to a store or a range and seen one in real life. It'd be nice if someone had them at a brick and mortar store. I think they're up to double digits for dealers in the US now. So trust me, they're listening. And again, it's why I like them so much. They're listening and they're starting to get out to dealers. So if you follow them on Instagram, they repost dealers that do have them, and there might be one near you. So you might want to check it out. Also saw this comment earlier. Oh, go ahead.
I don't know where you live, but check out Modern Warriors. They have an insane inventory, and they're in Utah, and they're also in Nashville, and they're in Franklin, Tennessee. So they have 3 locations. Hopefully, you're close to one, but if not, their online store has a ton of stuff, and I'm pretty sure they have bull. They have cicados. They have a ton of them, but I think they have bull too. Don't quote me on that though.
But yeah, going to Bull's Instagram is the way to, like I said, they repost their dealers that have them. I don't like to poo-poo on people with lack of knowledge, but it really grinds my gears when people ask about comparing a non-comped firearm to a comped or ported firearm. They're just 2 different animals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Rotten Corpse, what's up, man? Good to see you here. I keep getting tempted to get a Bull Armory pistol, TAC or EDC model, but I'll probably wait and put some more rounds on the optics I'm trying. They're not going anywhere. They're there whenever you're ready for them. Jay Parker likes the Metal HD. Why do GunCon on Father's Day weekend? What better to do on Father's Day weekend than go play with guns and meet other fellow like-minded people? Let's see here. Anything else? Oh yeah, this right here, Thin Line. Bull doesn't run an affiliate or sponsor program. Those of us that love Bull legitimately love them. That's the brilliant thing about their marketing.
That's cool.
They're so confident in their product that they're just like, try it out, see how you like it. And then we all just love it genuinely. Meanwhile, other companies are like, please clap, please like our product. Kenji with the $50 super chat, man. Thank you so much. I don't see a comment attached to that. Don't know if I got lost or if you're just being supportive, but either way, I always appreciate you, Kenji. If there's something you want to add, feel free. I'll look for it. Keep an eye out for it. I'm
a Kenji fan. I've seen him on here on all your lives.
Kenji is goated. Cowboy, we need to get you on some Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh, I actually started that. I just haven't stuck with it. I just got busy and I honestly forgot that I didn't finish it. So thank you for the reminder. I need to get back on that.
I want to let everyone in chat know that I'm being very good holding my elitist tongue, and I'm accepting new people into the hobby, and I'm glad that you all are enjoying yourselves and watching anime. But one day you will discover peak, and when you do, there is no going back.
What are your thoughts on One Punch Man?
Season 1 is incredible.
Yeah, I haven't even touched the new season that came out because of all the controversy behind it. Yeah, but yeah, season 1 was insane. Oh yeah, and I also started Chainsaw Man. I hear that one's really good.
Yeah, I like the manga. The anime adaptations, it could be worse. It's pretty good, but
okay.
The thing is, so you're going to be into anime for 10 years, and then you're going to discover manga, and you're going to be like, I could have been reading manga this whole time too. Like you're going to start, yeah, here we go. Get this man on Berserk, especially, dude, since your second hobby is lifting. You need to get on Berserk, and the dude just killing demons and killing evil.
I know what it is. I just haven't watched it yet, but I know what it is.
Definitely go when you're ready to open your mind to manga. There's a website called Manga Dex. That's where you want to go. It has all the manga you could ever want. It's free. You just read it and get on and just start reading Berserk. It's like reading a comic book. You just read it the opposite way, and it is unbelievable. But take your time.
And I'm really glad that you said what you just said. Like, you're into lifting, you need to watch this. Dude, lifting and anime go hand in hand. Anime is like my pre-workout. I always put on some OST thing on YouTube before I go lift, and it gets me in the right headspace to just go push it, man.
Oh yeah, you need a Dragon Ball pre-Frieza fight monologue from Goku, and you're ready to lift the world. All right, let's see here. Just wrapping up comments here before we head out. Season 1 One Punch Man had one of the goats in anime animating it. Yeah,
it was mind blowing.
Yeah, so the studio Madhouse was animating it, and Madhouse went under because they made the best animated film of all time, Redline, and it put them in the red, and they never recovered, and they went out of business 10 years later.
The irony in that.
Yeah, but it was worth it though. 8 years it took them to make that, hand drawn with the best voice actors and best animators in the industry. It was worth the sacrifice. They also did Black Lagoon, by the way. So there you go.
And I didn't watch that.
Let's see here. All righty. Bull is starting to hit the shelves finally. My LGS is stocking them, but still no Blaze. Yep, they're finally getting out there in the world. Yeah, Berserk is not for the weak, but it's a feeler for sure. Yeah, so prepare yourself to experience the face of evil, but it's a real buff dude crushes evil, and it's all you really need. But anyways, I think this is where we're gonna wrap it up. This was awesome, man. I really appreciate you showing up, and it was a great conversation. I could sit here and talk to you for like another 4 hours. So
I know. I can already feel it. I'm like, man, we're gonna be up here till like 1 a.m.
Yeah, I know. And we've got see y'all at GunCon, guys. Yep. So just a reminder, everyone, we're both going to be at GunCon. Cowboy's going to be on the dopest panel in the history of panels, and really looking forward to that. And I will be at the Bull Armory booth for an exciting announcement that you guys aren't going to want to miss.
Yeah, and if you see me at GunCon, I mean, I'm not going to be wearing this. Like I said, I don't care if you guys see my face. I just don't really post it right now. I'm sure there's going to be a face reveal in the near future. But if you see me at GunCon, definitely say hi. Like, I definitely want to meet more of you guys. I've got to meet a few of you guys at random matches that I've gone to where I've traveled out of state, and it's such a good experience. So don't feel afraid to come up and say hi to me. You know, I'm always down to talk and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I hope you all know that I'm friendly and I like to meet people. So if you see me, you're gonna have to wear like a concrete cowboy shirt or something, because
you know the funny thing is, every time people see me in person, they say the same two things, and it's really funny. They say, "Hey, man, I'm not trying to be like weird or anything, but I know you're a concrete cowboy because of your body," and I'm like, "Okay," and then two, they'll be like, "And it's your voice." So like usually people spot me out because they just recognize my body, and I get it. I mean, you can't see my face, but they always say it, and they're like really like they're awkward when they say it. They're like, "Hey, I'm not trying to be weird, but like I recognize you from your body. I'm not trying to be weird." And I'm like, "No, I get it. Like that's the only thing you see on camera."
Like I recognize those glutes and those barbell pants anywhere.
Yeah, they've never taken it that far, but yeah.
All right, everyone. So we'll see y'all at GunCon. Cowboy, we'll have to do this again. This was fun. It was an honor having you here. Really glad that honestly, it's a relief to find someone else that holds the same morals and values for running a channel. So I'm grateful that you joined, grateful that you're in this space, and keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on, dude.
Yeah, anytime. All right, everyone. We will see you at GunCon, and I'm sure we'll see you this weekend in our videos. So take care, everyone.
See ya.
See you later.